Hi and welcome back to another video. I'm Amanda Michelle and today we're going to be taking a look at my January bullet journal spread. I decided to go with just a really cold theme because it's been really cold lately, at least to me. And I just thought of penguins when I thought of cold because they're adorable. So we're going to have a bit of a penguin cold theme this month. I'm still using my Archer and Olive notebook. And I told you last time how much I love it, but I just wanted to say that I definitely won't be able to use it to finish off the whole year. So while I do have space in it, I want to be using a bunch of watercolors and markers, things that would normally bleed through like crazy. I'm going to definitely use in the next couple months because I enjoy the fact that I can and that it doesn't bleed through to the other side. So this month I did use almost all the same materials as I did for my 2020 setup. So I'm not gonna talk about them, but I will definitely list them in the description box below if you're interested. So for the penguin that I just finished drawing right now, I used a reference. I used references for a lot this month, so I'll put those references in the description box below. I love using references because at this point in my artistic ability I can't really imagine it and I want to get there and I'm working towards it, but right now I definitely use references for animals and for landscaping and as I'm trying to improve my drawing people skills. So what you see me doing now is I actually decided to make a watercolor piece to paste onto the left side of that first spread. And the watercolor piece is just going to end up being a backdrop for the calendar, the overall calendar for the month. So when I was finished with this watercolor piece, I actually took a picture of it and I put it into my iPad and I used an app called Procreate to add the calendar in front of it. And that was really fun. I've seen other artists do something similar to that, but I wasn't super impressed with my ability to get the color matching correct. So when I printed it off, the first time it came out like super yellow. And I finally got it a little bit better, but I think that's because I took a picture of it, maybe not in the proper lighting. So if anybody has any recommendations for that, I would love to know. I don't know if you just need to do it in using natural light or if I should just scan it into a computer. Yeah, so hit me up with some suggestions if you know how to do that better. But yeah, for the rest of the piece, I'll just let you enjoy it with music. And if you just want to skip ahead to the bullet journal spreads and see what's going on there, just go ahead to 7 minutes and 50 seconds and I'll see you there. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that. I had so much fun making it. So getting on to the first official page of the spread. This is just going to be the main calendar piece where I put in any events happening. I sometimes even put things I have to do that are just past the weekly spread that I'm on at the moment. And I also decided to put my habit trackers on the same page because for me, I use this page a lot compared to the other pages in my spread. And so I just wanted to be able to see everything all in one place and be able to, if I wanted to do just a quick thing because my day is really busy, I can still use my bullet journal, use my quick tracker, and then be done that day if that's what I need to be. So for the top here, I just used watercolors, and then I used just a little bit of watercolor at the top of each day in the calendar. So on the bottom here, I went ahead and put all my personal things that I'm tracking. So things like reading my Bible, or just reading in general, or working out, or going outside, since that's one of my goals for this year, and studying Spanish, and just things like that. Playing the piano. So all my trackers that are personal are going to be on the bottom here. And then on the side, I'd put all the chores that I want to do. They're not necessarily daily chores, but I put them all on this type of daily tracker just so that I could see how often that I do them within the month, all in one place. Especially since one of my yearly goals is to do better with my chores around the house. I want to see how I'm doing on that. So what you see me finishing up at the top here is just adding a little bit of cursive handwriting over top of the watercolor. My sister-in-law does this in her bullet journal, and I just think it looks really pretty. I know I've seen lots of other bullet journal artists doing this as well, and so I wanted to try it out this month. So for this month, I just used my normal handwriting for all the fonts. Even the cursive is just my regular cursive. So I'm going to be looking at other types of fonts and maybe even doing a couple lessons. So you'll have that to look forward to in the up and coming months as I practice some calligraphy and just some different fonts, and I'll be testing those out in the next months. So I'm just finishing up this spread with some drop shadows. I love doing drop shadows. I didn't even know what they were before I watched Amanda Rachel Lee's videos, but I love using them. I just think they make the piece look finished. For this next spread, I really love this spread. It is my mood tracker as well as my weather tracker. And so basically on the outside, I'll be tracking each day's weather. I don't go into too much detail. I just draw a little doodle with it. And in the end, it's really fun to look back at the weather, how it was that month. You'll actually see a couple of my doodles in the end because by the time I did this video, I'd actually already used a couple of the days. So you'll see kind of what that looks like when I doodle into it. So on the inside here is my mood tracker, and I don't always do a doodly thing like this, but I was really in the mood to this month. And so basically I drew an iceberg, and I plan on adding penguins for every single day. And some of them will be sliding down the iceberg, some of them will be like splashing into the water, or some of them will be climbing out, and some will be walking back up the hill. And so I will be color coding it, but I'm also going to place them strategically. So the ones going down the mountain, I feel like would be having a blast. It would be so much fun. So those are going to be my kind of happier moods. And then if they're splashing into the water, that's still kind of fun. So that might be like my meh face. And then climbing out will be kind of that sad but not too sad of a day. And then if they're walking up the hill, that means I had a bad day, because you know that's the worst part of going sledding, is walking back up the hill. So yeah, I just thought I would have fun with that. And then for my colors, I chose really warm colors, which really doesn't match the theme, but I wanted to do this because my sister-in-law is actually going to be making a blanket for me, a mood blanket, and I love warm colors like the reds and the oranges and the yellows, so I just went with it. I think it'll look really cool in the end with all the penguins colored. You'll also get to see a couple penguins that I already drew for the first couple days of January since I'd already used it. So yeah, I just finished it off with a little bit of white gel pen, which I don't think I actually mentioned in the last one. I just used a jelly roll pen. I'll put that in the description box below if you're curious. The one I have right now is actually working really well for me. They don't always show up this well, but I've been really happy with this one, so yeah. Can I just say that swatching in those colors was so satisfying. I love watercolors and especially warm colors, so this was a special moment for me. All right, so getting into the next spread of this month's bullet journal, I decided to do a full spread for my budget since I'm working on it, and I think this will be a really useful page for me. The left hand side of the page, I just left space for me to actually write in everything that I spent this month, so spending tracker. And then what you see me putting in right now is my actual budget. I just put it, you know, I used like a graph and I just had each square worth a certain amount of money. And so this will be a good visual for me, and at the end of the month I'm going to add everything up and I'm going to actually paint over it again with another color and see if I am within the range or if I went past it. So I think this will be really cool to see at the end. It'll be a super quick way for me to go, okay, I'm spending too much in this area, or we did a good job this month. So I'm excited to see how that looks in the end. I don't have a lot more to say about this spread, other than that it's going to be extremely helpful to me personally, and I think that's really the point of a bullet journal, is that you can just make it personal to you, what you need, what works. And so I think I'm just going to leave you to a little bit of music while I finish doing some outlines and adding a little bit of detail, and then I'll talk a little bit more about this spread before we go to the next one. Okay, so I just wanted to jump in here and talk about these little doodles. I told you at the beginning I used references, and I definitely use references. I tried drawing some penguins before using references on this page, and you didn't necessarily see all of that, but the sketches looked horrendous. So I definitely pulled up some references to finish these guys off. And I really think they add a nice little touch to this page, especially since it's finances, and sometimes that can be tough to look at or think about. And so these little guys just make it a little bit happier. I think that they look a little bit more realistic than I would like. And I know you're probably thinking they look super cartoony, but I really like a very stylized cartoony type style. And so I haven't done that a lot with animals, so I'm not sure exactly how to make it my own yet, but I'm working on that as well. So. Alright, so taking you to the next spread, we are finally to the first weekly spread, and I'm going to be trying out lots of different spreads this month. just because I haven't figured out what kind of orientation I really like to use on these. And if you want to see those, you can follow me on my Instagram, Amanda Michelle Draws, and I'll be posting those as I make them. So using a bunch of watercolor again for this, and it's a very simple spread, but I can say that so far it's been really easy to use and I like it a lot. I think I like the one I did for the second week better. You won't see that in this video, but if you would like to see that, again, go ahead and check out my Instagram. I posted it, but I really like it a little bit better than this one, and I added more kind of doodliness to that one, so if that's even a word. But yeah, I'm still really happy with this one. It was nice to use. It was just, I think, a little bit simpler than I would like. So here you see me drawing a line very close to the last one. That is because that was a solid mistake. I counted completely wrong when I got to the middle of the page. I guess that's problems when you hit the middle of the page with one of your sections. So anyways, I fixed that later off camera with my whiteout. So yeah. So I just decided to show you a close-up, but my hand is almost completely in the way, so I'm sorry about that. I will work on my video skills, but I just wanted you to see kind of what the cursive looks like up close. So you get like a tiny sneak peek of it. You just have to be super quick. So in the top column, that is just for events. I do like separating my events from my like to-do lists. It's just nice for me. And in the bottom is my to-do list. And I make that bigger because I usually have a lot of things that I write down, because I like to write down even small little things because it makes me feel accomplished that I completed them. And sometimes I even write down things that I've already accomplished and then check them off, because I like to see what I got done that day, and I just think it's very motivating to see. So yeah. Here's the final flip through. You can see I used it a little bit, like I said. Yeah. Oh, I didn't draw the penguins. I'm sorry about that. I thought I did. But you can see my little doodles of the weather. So if you want to see the mood tracker filled out completely, check out that Instagram, because I will post a picture when the whole thing is completed. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos.